Okay, thanks so much for having us. I'm joined by Lorraine O'Brien from Employers Initiative on Domestic Abuse and Goody Burnett from Standing Together. I'm Fiona Rodden, the Head of Talent for the Southeast, and just wanting to talk to you about this fantastic project that we are doing on supporting NHS organisations on domestic abuse and hopefully getting a few more of you to sign up to join us. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the why. Lorraine and Goody are going to talk about the approach they take, what their organisations do, and then we're just going to kind of capture at the end briefly how you can get involved if you want to. So before we start, Lorraine and then Goody, could you introduce yourselves?
I'm Lorraine O'Brien. I'm easy to remember because I'm the Scouser, so that's easy. I'm the CEO of the Employers Initiative Against Domestic Abuse, and delighted to be here to talk to you and partnering with you guys, and also my dear friend and colleague from Standing Together Against Domestic Abuse. Over to you, Goody.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having us. I'm Gudrun Burnett, but everyone calls me Goody, and I'm the CEO of Standing Together, and actually started my career as a volunteer and worked my way all the way up, and feel very, very passionate and also about the amazing place that health are in terms of what they can do in their response and how well placed they are. So thanks.
Thank you both so much. So, well, I said I'm the head of talent for the Southeast. My role over COVID was co-leading the looking after our people work, which was this health and wellbeing work across the Southeast. And the reason that we wanted to do this piece on domestic abuse is because it's about looking after people. I mean, we've got a plan for NHS people, so how we support people, and the first pillar of that plan is looking after people. And I think, you know, this was written before COVID. In COVID, it's been highlighted more than anything else. We've got a promise that we've made to our people, which has got kind of different factors to it. One of those key factors is that we are safe and healthy, another being that we are compassionate and inclusive, and part of that being we don't tolerate violence or bullying. We know that domestic abuse has been a pandemic within a pandemic. You know, we've seen it in the news how the numbers have escalated. So this was something really important at regional director level and throughout, that we look at how we support people. Because with, you know, before COVID, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men, it was a sort of stat that Lorraine had given me, being victims of, survivors of, experiencing domestic abuse is a huge number when you look at 1.4 million employees in the NHS. You know, if you kind of work that out, it's somewhere around 300,000 staff. I mean, that's not tiny, that's huge. And of course, it's not just staff, is it? It's patients, it's people that we're interacting with and working with on a regular basis. So this is everyone's business. It's really important that we look at this. There's a bill coming through at the moment. It's gone through both houses of parliament. It's just got royal assent. So this is really timely. We're looking at having clearer definitions, protection and support. So as employers, I think often with all the people in this call in the room as HR directors and chief people officers, your organisations likely represent the largest employer in your area, and so it's such a huge opportunity to be role models in this. So we brought IDA in and Standing Together as experts in the field to help us set ourselves up in the NHS as role models in how we support people against domestic abuse. So first, if I just come to you, Lorraine, to talk a little bit about what does IDA do and how would you partner with NHS organisations to support them?
Thanks, Fiona. Well, IDA is a very unique organisation in lots of ways. Our expertise is in helping employers, so that's our key focus. So we're not a frontline service provider. Our aims and mission, and most importantly, is to give you an indication on the power of IDA and how we can help support victims, survivors and perpetrators that may be existing in your workplaces. The unique nature of the NHS, your dedicated staff, the size of the organisation and the myriad of people that you come into contact with every day makes you uniquely placed to have a positive impact in gargantuan levels on tackling domestic abuse as an employer. The NHS also has a brand, reach, reputation to make a difference, to help so many people. And we at IDA, and I know Goody shares this, we're eternally grateful that you've embraced a very unique and new initiative that was born out of IDA, where we have 3 NHS trusts that have become beacons. Later on, I'd like to invite you all to become beacons. But more importantly, so what are we trying to do? Our vision at IDA is simple: for every employer to support victims of domestic abuse. We empower, we enable those businesses to do that. We bring together experiences and best practices from other members, from hundreds of our employers that we already engage with. To give you an idea of our reach, we touch almost 6.5 million employees through IDA that we offer support through their companies. We provide employers with information and guidance they need to successfully support employees who are suffering domestic abuse. We raise awareness, we help with communication processes, we play a role in educating people about domestic abuse and the horrific impact that it can have. We also provide expertise through resources, toolkits, training video and model policies. We also link employee members with the relevant sector partner, like we have here with Standing Together. And what's wonderful about this relationship is the toolkits and the handbook and the information that will be shared will be unique to the NHS, that both Goody's team and my team have collated. So it's very pertinent and very focused on understanding the NHS as a business, shall we say, and the challenges you have. For example, we also work closely with BAYS, exploring more workplaces that need to be effectively responding to domestic abuse. I spoke to the Minister's office yesterday and shared the exciting news that we were piloting this programme with the NHS. He was blown away. He said, oh my God, you know, he said, if we can engage the NHS as the biggest employer in the UK, you know, Lorraine, our work is 3/4 done. So thank you, Fiona, for that. The other thing I just wanted to share with you before I finish, there are also some economic implications on domestic abuse. And therefore, you as business leaders and budget owners are under pressure constantly to make sure that each pound, there's a bottom line argument for spending it. So from a business perspective, let me share some alarming stats with you. 56% of employers say that domestic abuse led to absenteeism, and 54% said it caused the quality of their employees to their work and quality of work to suffer. The economic cost of abuse in England and Wales from lost output in most recent research equates to 14 billion. Think again the size of the NHS. You own a huge proportion of that loss. And recent research from Vodafone showed that due to the impact of career progression, the potential loss of earnings per female victim of abuse is about £5,800 per year. So in an organisation like yours, where equality and kindness and care, as Fiona mentioned, is paramount, you can see the impact that domestic abuse can have on your colleagues. We know that you can do more, and you're already on the journey. We're also an organisation, as is Goody, where we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Some of you are really doing some great stuff. What we're going to do is enhance and embellish and add to that and give you more support. Personally, we feel hugely privileged to be working alongside Standing Together, one of our very favourite partners who deliver the most remarkable work. and have got huge expertise in working in the NHS. They will be the boots on the ground, so they will be the project managers leading the project. That are an amazing crowd of individuals who are kind and considerate and understanding of your business. So I think that leads me then, Goody, to hand over to you to talk about Standing Together.
Thanks so much, Lorraine. That's lovely. So yeah, Standing Together have pioneered something called the Coordinated Community Response in England for the past 20 years. And that's all focused on the easiest way to put it is systems change. So working within organisations to understand how they operate and then working within those systems to change it and improve the response, not only for your employees, but also for the many survivors and perpetrators that you'll be routinely coming into contact with. We've been working in health settings for over 10 years in London. We've been doing this work, which involves things like work with policies, training, creating champions. There's a whole raft of work that we do in terms of what that systems approach, and we're really excited to embark on this journey with Ida and yourselves in terms of what this would look like for the NHS, and then really excited with the opportunity of what that could look like on a larger scale, even in terms of the reach of your organisation and the capacity that health professionals have with the right, you know, working alongside you to, like you say, Lorraine, I think you put it so clearly, to enhance and, you know, support the work that was already existing in some areas. I would also like to say that we've already worked on a national programme, so we've got a lot of work in terms of some of the areas and understanding the differences across sites and all of that. So the project team, like Lorraine says, it's the boots on the ground, it's their understanding like the nuts and bolts of this, and then working really closely with you to create something that I think is just going to be just such a huge step in the right direction for all potentially health practitioners going forward. I was just trying to think if there's anything else that I needed to say at this point, but I think Lorraine and Fiona have done such a great job. I think one of the areas we touched on, we talked about perpetrators, holding perpetrators to account. That is a huge area that we're actually probably further behind in terms of actually national best practice. And I think Standing Together, because we do so much work in criminal justice, in housing, within domestic homicide reviews, we don't just bring that health perspective, we give that whole rounded kind of coordinated community response. And I'm going to link it so beautifully back to what Fiona said at the beginning about this being everyone's business and the part that you all play in this, not only in your professional life, but also in your personal life and as civilians, essentially. So I'm going to stop there.
Thanks, Goody. Thanks, Lorraine. So just in terms of, hopefully, a number of people watching this, listening to this, are going, actually, this is something that's really important to me, and I'm not really sure where we are at the moment. This might be something I'd like to pursue. What's the benefit of getting in touch with us sooner rather than later? And how do they do that?
It's been helpful in painting a picture on the enormity of the impact that you can have. So how do you make that impact even bigger? So you heard me mention about a beacon. So, and that we have 3 beacons. So what does a beacon mean? A beacon means that it is a business that supports colleagues in a very deep way. To help them if they're suffering from domestic abuse, and also to prevent perpetrators offending. It's a very unique and bespoke programme that's built for your organisation, understanding all of the nuances that your organisation has, and the journey that you're currently on and where you're up to in that journey. So again, it's very bespoke and tailored. You also get access to our network. You take the learnings from the NHS scheme that Goody has also mentioned that she's done lots of work in. You've also got the opportunity to be a beacon to show other employers, look, this is what we're doing, you follow us. The other thing that is amazing that you can have a massive impact on is that by the nature of the people that you serve, your patients, that the learnings that your staff develop on this journey can often be transferred to be public facing. So, you know, how do they spot the signs of abuse? You know, How do they realise that if in maybe a psychological kind of group in a A&E department, that it might be a victim or they may be a perpetrator. And because of the knowledge and learnings that they've had on the journey internally, they're more equipped and understanding. We also are amazing in signposting you through help. So, you know, do you have, you know, there are instances sometimes when we refer to disclosure when somebody is really brave to put their hand up and say that I'm suffering with abuse. Not only do we help you understand how to deal with that and how to signpost somebody to that, but can you imagine if you have somebody who has a double disclosure, that they may be a member of the LGBTQ community, they haven't came out in their workplace for whatever reason, and not only are they now having to declare that they're in a same-sex relationship, but they're also being abused. You need skills to equip you in how to deal with that. We also share case studies, how not to deal with it, no matter how impassioned you may feel to want to go and help somebody when you hear they're abused. All of this is just some of the enormous support that being a beacon delivers to your trust. What we've also agreed to do is if anybody wants to sign up to be a beacon, that we would do a reduced fee for that, which rather than coming in at £10,000 would be slightly less. But it's a 6-month project that you get support to, you know, to do with my team and Goody's team. But even if you're not going to sign up to be a beacon, one of the things that I would urge you to do is to visit both of our websites and see what other support is there. But from our perspective at IDA, to just become a member of IDA is absolutely free, where you will automatically gain lots of benefits. You just need to go online and you need to fill in the form and you're done. And you'll also see some of the great work that Goody does on her site if you want some ad hoc bespoke training or some other initiatives, Goody, that you cover that you might want to cover off as well, as just a round up to my highlights.
Yeah, I was going to quickly say, just the Pathfinder Toolkit is a free resource which everyone can download in terms of what you can use in your NHS trusts, and that's all on our website. Training, we've also just got some funding in order to look at what an accreditation process would look like online and creating an online forum for health practitioners as well, which is really exciting news. So basically just be in contact would be the message, right, Lorraine?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, reach out to us. You know, Fiona will share our emails and contact details. Drop us an email and Fiona will tell you. We always come back to you straight away.
Lovely. That's a wonderful point to end on. Thank you both so much for joining us for this. We'll pop your email addresses on the screen and link them as we share this video. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to talking to you more about as the project continues. Thanks so much.
Lovely. Thank you, Fiona. Thanks, Goody. Have a good day, everyone.